What's going on? We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Instagram, baby. We at it again, as you know. Thank you guys for tuning in, watch the Chaos Culture Radio. We would like you to do and make sure you hit the thumbs button for the likes. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell on the bottom because we do go live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, like we always do. Also, we also got videos that we post during the daily week on the daily as well during the week. It's also to show you guys what's going on in the world as well. So we thank you guys. Like I said, Ronnie, he's off for the week. He's on vacay. He just, chilling, relaxing, and he'll be back here next week as he usually do. But like I said, y'all, thanks for tuning to Chaos Culture Radio. Hey, Hakeem, how you doing, man? How you feeling, man, on this
Chilling,
Wednesday?
brother.
Wednesday.
I'm feeling great. You know me taking it one day at a time.
hmm
What about
Oh,
yourself?
hey, man, I'm blessed, man. Every day, man. I'm glad I'm up, grateful. I'm just here to roll, buddy. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's get it. So what's going on, people? We're going you guys tuning in, coming in, watching us and everything. I know it's gonna be a little bit. But this topic right here, I think is, very important. I think it's a very important topic to talk about. And, it's talk about, the median income of certain ethnicities in the United States of America. And a lot of people, I think a lot of people don't realize it's like, how, the average person from each different race, how they really live in America. And we definitely gonna be in the detail of that. We definitely gonna touch. We definitely gonna touch, like I said, who's the highest, and also who the lowest, and I'll talk about the average and everything about it. And like I said, this is not just for black. This is just for everybody. Just to tell you, hey, this is in America in 2023. This is how we roll it. What's going on, Miss Sherry Bryan? Good to have you. Good to have you to the show. Thank you for joining by.
How you
So
doing
yeah,
today, Queen?
yes. So yeah, we definitely gonna get into it, and we're just looking to say, hey, this is how other ethnicity or races are living, in America, in city from the urban, suburban, rural, from big cities to small cities, just all around. Give you the basis like how basic ethnic race groups are living. And this again really keep y'all informed, and not just that, we're gonna break down, what they do, in their household, what jobs they take on, what they do in the community, possibly religion, what they do, because a lot of these, these communities, what they do is, like I said, they have a ritual, it's not sort of a ritual of what they do on a daily basis of what they want to pass on to their families to generation to generation, and kind of build generational wealth. So we're definitely gonna get into it. We're gonna play a couple videos for you guys, and after that we're gonna chop it up. And then, like I said, chat, if y'all want to chop it up, go ahead and chat on as well. Go ahead, Akeem.
By exactly what you identify as, and it goes way into detail as far as like whether you're this type of American, if you're Chinese, Japanese. You can see at the very top of the list is Indian Americans, Taiwanese Americans. 135 bands average household income. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. The number isn't crazy to me, but to have that as the average household income is insane. But one thing you don't see on this list, and I'm going to go back and forth with y'all in the audience. Let's kick it. One thing you don't see on this list is white people. 1, 2, go past 20. You got Israeli, Ukrainian, Serbian, Germans, Irish, Spanish, Cambodian, Nigerians. Nigerians is up there. Now, Nigerians is all the way at 55, right? Right here. The average median white American household income is $66,000. We're rounding up. I did a little bit of work in school. I am a C student. $66,000 a year. All the way down here in between 60 and 61. So they 60 and a half. The median white American household income on average is $66,000. They're all the way down at number 60. If it's a lie, then the U.S. Census Bureau told it. All of this other data that's combined along with the U.S. Census Bureau, they told it. Spanish, Cambodian, Albanian, Vietnamese, average household income $71,000. Armenians, Belgians, Swedish, Israelis, Swiss, Turkish, Japanese, Chinese is at $85,000. Russians, basically $86,000. Pakistani, $87,000. South African Americans, $98,000. Filipino, Australian, Taiwanese, Indian, all the way at the top. And then you got white people down there, and the average is 63,000. So white people slightly above, when I say slightly, I mean slightly above average. And then if you go all the way down towards the bottom where you got Dominicans at 32, Iraqi, Puerto Ricans at 36, Mexicans at 38, Appalachian, African Americans is at number 86 at 43, basically $44,000 a year, which we cite this all the time. That is a statistic that is absolutely accurate when it comes to
other ethnic groups. If you look at this chart here, this is 2018. Indians all the way at the top at $120,000 income. Taiwanese is number 2. They're ahead of them by nearly 25%, 24%. Chinese third, Japanese fourth, then it's Pakistani, Filipino, Indonesian, Korean, Cambodian, Hmong, and then Vietnamese. And look where white Americans are at $65,000. Indians make $55,000 more per year than white Americans. By the way, white Americans, you're trying to go to 4 days a week work week. Try convincing an immigrant coming from India, Taiwan, China, Japan, Pakistan, Filipino, Indonesian, Korean, Cambodian, Persian, Hmong, Vietnamese, try to convince them to only work 4 days a week. Not their kids who are born here maybe, and they've been Americanized. Try convincing an immigrant to only work 4 days a week. They will laugh at you. The whole purpose of coming to America is that they can work as much as they want. It's called free enterprise. But let's kind of take a deep dive with some of these other stats. Indian population living in poverty amongst percentage-wise with Americans. All Americans, roughly 13% of Americans live in poverty. All Asians, it's 10%. Look at Indians. Only 6% of all Indians in America live in poverty. Now, let's look at education. What percentage of them have bachelor's degrees? What percentage of them have masters or MBAs? And what degrees they have? Look at this here. In 2021, 80% of Indian immigrants over 25 years old or older reported having at least a bachelor's degree versus only a third of all foreign-born and U.S.-born adults. Again, 80% versus 33%. 80% of 25 and older have a degree, 4-year degree. 49% of Indian immigrants adults have at least a graduate or professional degree in 2021 compared to 15% of foreign-born and 13% of U.S.-born. Nearly 4 times of U.S.-born is what they have. Now, what do they major in? Let's kind of go a little bit deeper into that one. Lots of people waste money on degrees that have no amount of high-paying jobs. Most people agree that you plan on going to college, you need to major in STEM to make it a good investment, but Indian Americans abide by this. It's like a religion. STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Look at the chart here on what they major in. At the top, you see the blue, engineering 36%. Then it's math and computer science 35%. Then that 10% at the top, you see it? Business management. So they're intentional about what areas they're going to go major in. Now let's go even a little bit deeper than this on how they measure amongst other ethnic groups. This is according to the U.S. Census Bureau. If you look at the top right, you'll see all immigrants, it's a darker blue. You'll see Indian immigrants, it's a lighter blue. And then you'll see U.S. born, okay? Furthest to the left is management, business, science, art occupations. Look who's in the middle. 79% of Indian immigrants versus 43% of U.S. born versus 37% of all immigrants. They major in management, business, and science. Look at service occupation. They're the lowest at 5%. US is 15%, and all the other immigrants 21%. They're like, no, you're not going to major in service when you go into this. Look at sales and office occupation, 10%, 15%, 21%. National resource constitution maintenance occupation, they're 1%. It's almost as if you do go and major in that, you're going to get a lot of pop-out from your parents there, but it's a 1%, 8% for US born, 12% from all immigrants. Then production, transportation, and material moving, 6, 13, 15. Look, they're not interested in that. You know what they're interested in? Management, business, science is what they're interested in. They want to do STEM. So obviously this leads to them making a lot of money, but let's look at business. Are they startup entrepreneurs? Do they produce billionaires? I don't know. Let's take a look. So here's what it looks like. According to Oxford Academic, Indian immigrants represent 1% of the US population, but 8% of the founders of high-tech companies and 1/3 of technology startups in Silicon Valley. 1% of total US population, 8% of all founders. Here's some of the names of billionaires that produce: Jay Chaudhry, net worth $8.3 billion, CEO of Zscaler. Vinod Khosla, net worth $5.3 billion, former Sun Microsystem co-founder. Romeh Wadhwani, $5.1 billion. Rakesh Ganwal, $4 billion, Indigo CEO, founder. Naresh Shah, CEO of Wayfair, $2.8 billion. Anil Bursi, net worth $2.3 billion, CEO of Workday. This is working on how they're producing and what they're majoring in. Now let's look at family perspective. What do they do that's different when it comes down to the family? Well, one thing that's interesting is it's very common for multiple Indian families to share a home while building a business together and continuously expanding the business. So it's almost like the concept of delayed gratification. Hey, let's live together, let's minimize expenses, let's put all the money we're making back into the business rather than splurging and wasting money all over the place. A couple other things to be thinking about. When it comes down to divorce rates, did you know Indian Americans have the lowest divorce rates in America? Very interesting, right? Now, some of you are going to say, well, of course they have the lowest divorce rates in America because they have arranged marriages. They may in India, but not necessarily all in America. It does happen, but it's not as high of a number as it is in India, and it's gradually going away anyways. Well, let's look at the stats here. According to National Center for Family and Marriage Research, blacks, they have the highest divorce rate, 30.8%. Hispanics are 18.5%. Whites are 15.1%. Other is 12.4%. But for Indian families, you ready? There's some studies that say 1.3% and some that show 6%, but they're lower than anybody else when it comes down to this. Obviously, some of it has to do with culture, ritual, all of that, but they have a lower divorce rate than others. Again, this is purely based on statistics. Couple other things. We looked at this website called indiaparenting.com, and we saw these 10 things that they do as parenting that's different than others. Some of it you may say, I had some of that with my parents, or I apply some of it myself, and some of you may say, yeah, we definitely don't do that in America. Here, let me kind of go through it. Number one, they promote kinship. Indian parents make it a point to foster relationships and association with their social and family acquaintances. They edify their children to be in social connections and also maintain healthy connections with their relatives. More so, they stay as shelter beside their children till they are married off, right from the children's infant ages to their marriage times. Even after that, the parents support their youngsters emotionally in order to provide the much needed support. Ideal Indian parents create a social environment where the concept of family is expanded to all. So they're selling family, they're selling kinship, they're selling let's stay close. They're edifying that lifestyle, and the kids are emulating whatever the parent, the leader, edifies. That's what they want to do. Number two, self-sacrifice. And almost every Indian parent sacrifices their lives in some way to devote themselves in raising their kids. Indian mothers forego their dreams and passions to take care of their children. Fathers often make compromises in their careers to ensure well-being of the young ones. Interesting. Everything about life becomes about pouring into their kids, and look at the types of kids that they're developing. Number three, trustworthy and friendly. Trust is one thing that Indian parents mostly possess. This factor makes them the best friend of their children, at least till their adulthood. Indian mothers become the best friends of their sons, while the daughters love to confine their secrets in their fathers. What? Let me say that one more time. Indian mothers become best friends of their sons, while daughters feel comfortable sharing and confiding their secrets to their fathers. Does that sound American? Or is it like, do you know what I'm saying? Very interesting, right? When you think about the dynamic here of how this looks. Let's go to number four, quality time. Indian parents, amidst their busy schedule, give quality time to their children. They spend great time with their wards instead of just letting them grow in their own way. They're involved. They're not letting them go and let society raise their kids. They're very much involved with their kids. Number five, nurture the talents. When it comes down to Indian parents, they're extremely good at identifying the skills and unique talents of their children. They toil hard to enhance those special gifts that their kids are blessed with. You would often find the Indian kids, teenagers, and young adults getting well acquainted acclaimed in a number of creative fields thanks to the dedicated and loving Indian parents. Number 6, inquisitive. That's one quality of Indian parents that many children are annoyed about. Very interesting. However, Indian parents, being curious in nature, keep a careful watch on their kids. Instead of breaching the freedom and privacy of their children, parents stay watchful about their offspring's attitude and behavior to prevent them from venturing into any misleading paths. You know, some of the things you hear parents say, leave your kids alone, let them do whatever they want, you know, they kind of got to go through it. Indian parents will say, you're a fool to do that when they're kids. You got to be involved so they don't go out there and do crazy things. I remember while I'm listening to this, some of it's reminding me, I'm thinking my mom's maybe a little bit Indian. Middle Easterns have similar tendencies, by the way. They're on these lists too. My sister went on her first date. I'm a younger brother by 6 years. She says, your job is to spy on her. You're going to go everywhere she goes. So I'm like, no problem. Yes, sir. You know, it's like, yes, ma'am. So me and the friends, everybody had a job. I'm watching from the top. He's here. Did they kiss? And then boom, they drove. Follow him. I'm a 14, 15-year-old kid. We're trying to follow exactly where this guy's going, watching everything to come back and report. Look at that concept. This kid had to do this with his sister. Some tells me Indian parents maybe do a little bit of that as well. Sisters are watching the same. You were the annoying brother, were you? I was very protective. Power to all the protective brothers out there. We need more of them out there. I'm hoping Tico and Dylan will be the same as well. I'm sure they will be. Okay, culture. Indian parents instill the fundamental culture and religious values into their children right at their childhood. India is a country that has deep-rooted cultural values. Its traditions and legacies are well maintained. Indian parents make it a point to impart the same value to their children. Don't go away from your values and principles. Keep selling it to them. Number 8, religious tolerance. India is a land of diversity with multitude of ethnic races having dissimilar values and ethos. Indian parents infuse the ethics in their children that let them respect people hailing from different religions, castes, creeds, and races. Respect. So it's like, hey, you got to respect everybody that's out there. Makes sense. Number 9, ready? This one's going to be a little bit confusing for some of you. Judgmental. Indian parents are highly judgmental. That definitely helps them in keeping their children safe from negatives. This is also one of the best qualities of an Indian parent, to implant the same insightful abilities in their successors. And last but not least, number 10, multitasking. Most Indians are hardworking. They are diligent when it comes down to handling their parenting tasks. The moms and dads in India do great multitasking while managing their personal and professional life. They strike a fine balance between their times and dedicate adequate time to both their children and their jobs. All right, so look, you may agree with some of the things, you may not agree with some of the things, but the results is there. It shows you the numbers, what they've done, and there's a lot to be learned from what they're doing. Here's a few different takeaways. Number 1, if your kids are going to go to school, don't wing it. Speak to them about what things to be considered then. Get involved in what degrees. I watch how involved Tom is with his kids going and taking degrees. It's amazing seeing parents that are involved and saying, hey, look at this, look at that, let's research this together rather than do whatever you want to do. Number 2, superior work ethic. They don't compromise their work ethic. No one's going to make them not work hard, including the 4-hour work week, Business Insider, Bloomberg, HuffPo type of people that are journalists who came out of Columbia, want to convince everybody to do a 4-day work week. Good luck doing that to the Indian community, and you should.
All right, people. So we showed this video because the Indian Americans, like I said, they make the highest income in the United States in America, followed by other South Asian countries, as in Filipinos, Sri Lankans, Japanese, Chinese. They make at least a median income 70K or more. As in the average American, they make average American, that's just any race, they make about 56,000. And also, white Americans that make a little bit above that, and in our Black community and Hispanics, Haitians, Latino, we make a little above. I think it's below 50K, between $45,000 a year. And just want to let you know from the Indians, out of that median income, 70% have bachelor's degrees. Chinese Americans and Korean Americans is a little over 50%. Filipinos, they have 50%, and Japanese Americans, they're a little bit low, as opposed to the average American who has bachelor's degrees, they're at 28%. So we just see how why and how Indian Americans, what they do, in their community to order to gain, generational wealth and perhaps move on. And, for me, that judgmental part of number 9, that really hit me right there, because I know in our community, we say not to judge people. We say not to judge people, but I feel like I said, I feel like this topic would be very, very interesting, and really talk about the household income, in other communities and also within our community as well. So, I'm gonna pass it to you, Hakeem. What you think about this topic, man? How you feeling about this topic?
I love this topic. Throughout the years, I've always mentioned we have to look at other races as a benchmark to do certain things. This only proven to the fact. And to give you a little insight, I lived in Massachusetts for 11 years. I went to college there. I lived in one of the most prestigious towns ever, which is Cambridge, Massachusetts. You have Harvard and you have MIT. Almost maybe 60% of their students are Indians. 60%. So what he said is 100% true. I want to talk about, it's a culture that they foster and feed into their kids. The dads could be Uber drivers, working in a bakery, but the kids go to college. They don't hang out. They don't smoke. The daughters are not going on dates. They know who their husbands are. They're not playing no games. You can't, in our culture, you can't tell a woman what to do. It's disrespectful. No man can tell no woman what to do in a black community. Indian culture, you listening to that Indian daddy. You marrying who he wants you to marry. We have to look at this and say this. We are being outpaced by everybody else. Now, mind you, these people come from third world countries. Some of these people barely have something to eat. When they come here, they run circles around us. And we here walking up, going up to, you know what I'm saying? Like, people pay to be here. That's why I said when I looked at that, I'm like, oh, one shocking thing was I didn't know Taiwanese was in there. The Taiwanese?
Yeah.
I didn't even know they was in the list.
Yeah. Because they're I mean, we don't even know that because they're such a small percentage in America. Yeah. But this is to show you how they live it.
Oh, you know another group they didn't mention too? The Russians.
Yeah.
The Russians, they get it in. Now, mind you, they just gave us the top numbers, but there's people who's outpacing us. A lot of people didn't know. I'm in the trucking business. There's a bunch of Russians who are with their sons buying up trucks and running freight. It's a culture, and it's the thing that there's so many nuances to why we're last behind. Natasha Vincent say Taiwanese is such a peaceful country. It's on my bucket list to visit. Most definitely.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, for me, just looking at this and everything, for me, I really didn't. I'll say in my 20s, I really didn't pay attention to this stuff. What man is she talking about? I don't know what she's talking. Oh, I know what she's talking about. It's the man. It's always the man. We hear you, Sugar Bum. It's always the man. Anyways, like I said, in our community, this is rarely or never taught to us. Not in our parents nor in our schools and everything. And now now we kind of catch with it with social media, especially in our black culture, and try to push generational wealth. And my thing is, we talk about it, but the thing is, we don't know how to properly do it and what to do and everything. And the thing is about, as you can see, Indian Americans, when they go to college, they go for the right degree so they can make money. They go for the right degree so they make money. They don't look at, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I say, no. Usually in their household, if you go to college, you best pick the best degree that you can make money off of. And that's really important. And also, all the Asians, races, they do the same thing as well. Also with the family thing, like I said, Indians, they say a point right there. You say Indian Americans, they have the lowest rate of divorce. So that they believe in family and they believe in generational wealth. And the thing is like with us, it's like, we work, in our community, we talk about, gender wars, men this and women this, what Sugar Mom's talking about. That's just tells you right there what the state of kind of what the state of the Black community is, or what the statement that Sugar Mom just made. It's the man. So it's just tell you right there we're not thinking about generational wealth. We're battling, men this and women that. That's one of the reasons that we need to fix on that. That's just tell you right there. I want to appreciate Sugar Mom for that.
Thank you. The lack of respect and contempt for your men.
Yes.
You ain't gonna get nowhere if you don't got no family. You ain't gonna get nowhere if there's no family. Every core group they mention all have one key component, which is family. The man, the woman, and the household. Now, you also gotta, one thing that they don't understand, those countries they name built on a what's the word? For men, it's like archie. What's the
archetype?
Word? No, patriarchy.
Oh, patriarchy, yeah.
Every one of those countries is based on a patriarchy. Everyone, I'm not deflecting nothing. I'm just telling the truth. The lack of respect and contempt for your men. We don't have no, listen. Our version of family is totally different here in America compared to everybody else. Thank you so much. That's the main important thing. If we're not getting married and we're not having kids, there was something they said on there was, oh my Lord.
Which one?
And listen, and I got to get on Sugar Bum about this because she said, I don't got no kids. I don't need none. I'm going to get on Sugar. She said, my son stands on business now. Secure your future. It says this, have you earned the respect you want? Indian men don't need to earn respect. They get it automatic.
Automatic. And not just Indian men too. Asians, automatic. Hispanics, they get it automatic. Thai, they get it automatic. Whites, they get it automatic. Japanese, Pakistanians, they get it automatic.
And listen, they come from poorer countries than us. They're married poor. They come here poor. So the point that I wanted to say was this. You heard the part where he was talking about, I think it was number 6 and 7, where he said the woman would give up her life dreams to focus on her kids. The man would adjust his career to make sure the kids is all right. Talk to me if we're doing that right now.
Now with feminism in this country, there's no way in hell. No, that's not happening.
We're going to take out of church.
That's not going to happen.
We're going to take you out of church. Listen, we're going to take you out of church. The fact that you say we have to earn something makes me feel like this conversation is above my pay grade. The fact you say that what have black men have to earn, I can't answer that. Because I can't answer that. I'm not on your level. So it's above my pay grade. My apologies, Queen Sugar Bum.
Uh-oh.
My apologies, Queen Sugar Bum. I mean no disrespect. I'm here over here. I'm here, not over there. But let's have a serious conversation. Let's have a conversation why we hear no names of Jamaicans. We hear no names of all the islands. We hear no name of our beloved Black Americans. We hear no names. Listen, we have the token few. Hold on. You never answered.
Nigerians, they're up there. They do pretty well. They're Nigerians. Nigerians.
No. Oh, I didn't mention the Nigerians. I said Jamaicans.
Oh, okay. You was the Caribbean islands. Okay, I got you.
The Caribbean islands. Listen, we hear about Nigerians all the time. Nigerians don't miss a beat. They're not playing no games. They're not playing games. Their parents is beating you to college. They're beating you to get a degree. Now, should I have give you respect because you're a male? Yes, you're supposed to give me respect because I'm a man.
As Hakeem will give you respect as a woman.
Facts.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. The best thing in life is to have children. That's my legacy. That's why I make sure they win. Sherry Brown.
Facts.
Sherry Brown, you ready to get married? You ready to get married? I already know Natasha Vincent ready to get married. You ready to get married?
We still working on Sugar Bum, but we're gonna get there.
Listen, we're gonna bring Sugar Bum into the phone. Hallelujah. Yahweh ben Yahweh. We're gonna bring you home. It has been nice to ring it through, Queen Sugar Bum. We got a new guy here. Where is he coming from?
From Britain. Hey man, thank you for coming, man.
Hey, shout outs to the Brits.
Yes, shout out to you guys.
Manchester, Brixton, Peckham. Shout out to y'all.
Yes.
And listen, I wonder if my brothers who is the Coon the garbage collector. Culture is a big thing in Britain because y'all have a lot of Ghanaians, Sierra Leoneans, and Nigerians. They're not playing no games when it comes to school. Answer that for me.
That's facts.
Answer that. Nigerians on a different level. He said a lot of East Indians are married to their cousins. That is true. It's a culture thing. It's a culture thing. It's a culture. I'm not a bridge bandit. Hello, Ari. What? My homie from Brixton. My homie from the Brit. Welcome to Chaos Culture Radio.
Well,
now, go ahead.
No, go ahead and finish. Go ahead.
I want us to. I think we can still build a culture on excellence. We just have to cut the fat. Go ahead, brother.
That's true, and this to see, like I said, we was off of Chaos Culture Radio, but this to see, going to the Juneteenth festival in Lamar Park, and it was a good weekend here in LA with the Juneteenth, the festivals and everything. But just to see, going to Lamar Park, and this is my third time going to the Juneteenth festival in Lamar Park, just to see, how many blacks showed up. It had to be like tens of thousands. Mm-hmm. Just all together. And that's like probably the most black people I've seen here in Los Angeles. Because usually here in Los Angeles, black people, how big it is, we're spread out. We're spread out. And also, almost 50% of population is Hispanics, Latinos. But just to see, all the blacks come together. And the thing is, there was no violence from nothing. Hakeem, nothing. Because usually, during the night, people start fighting, people start shooting. But just to see how we'll get there in a minute. Just to see how the black community is together, and how there's vendors out there, people selling clothes, and how we put everything, put our money into the black dollar and everything. It was just so lovely to see, and just to see something like that, Hakeem. Hopefully we can just keep growing and growing and growing. And I can see that growth, and I can definitely see that growth. And hopefully we can, raise our level of median income in our community, which is, this is the basic things, being married or not be married, being in a long-term relationship. If you want to sign the papers, that's totally fine. Make sure, if we do that, we build our community, make sure our kids get the proper education. Make sure, if our kids want to go to college, make sure, we point to the right type of degree. They can get the money, engineering. That's a major right there.
Yeah.
And
or business management.
And then also I believe some IT jobs. Or if not, there's other options. Getting a trade. Push them go to the military. The Army, Marines, Coast Guards. Navy, whatever, we just want to make sure, that we give the information out there, for our future generation, there's so many opportunities here in America that, that you can do compared to other two countries that can't do. That's why you see, from the Southeast Asians, Middle Easterns, Indian Americans, these, foreigners, these immigrants, they come. And, when they come here, they work. Sometimes, they work 7 days a week. They work their ass off. Like, they don't take no days off unless, if they got vacation, unless, something happens to an emergency. Some of these, racists, they, like I say, they work, 7 days straight of a week, and they don't take days off. And they use it because they know, like I said, we're here in America, they can have the options to work anytime, any day they want everything, because nothing can tell them. Because the state or the government, they can't really tell them anything. So I think it's very, very important, to make sure give information to our younger generation, like, yo, there's there's a way out of here, especially in America. Just make sure you give them the proper education, and also give them the proper encouragement that they need, because you can make it out of here. And I feel like there's a lot of negativity in our community, which we go back and forth. With your gender wars, men this and women that, it could be useless, but we need really talk about how to work together.
Prince said a lot of Nigerians and West Africans excelled in education here. Facts. And I'm gonna come to a story. Definitely. Sugar Bum said, where's the proof Nigerians are excelling in America? For you to say that and you're in DC? For you to say that and you're in DC.
Yeah.
And it says, I mentor 3 of my son's friends too. These young men didn't have any directions. That's the best thing to do. Where's the receipts? I got the receipts. I got the receipts. Prince, Nigerians are big coons here. Yeah. You're right. There are coons. There are coons.
Yeah, there's some here too in America. Yeah.
I'm not gonna. You see, I can't disagree with you. I can't.
Yeah.
They're far from pro-black.
Right.
They're far from pro-black. It's just the same way with my beloved brothers who live on the other island of me, on the other side, which I won't say their names. They don't believe they're black as well, but they believe in nationalism. It says Sugar Bum, don't start with sugar. So say I studied education, finance, and credit with mines early. No, definitely. So here's what I'm going to say. I worked for a Nigerian man who owned the limousine company in Massachusetts. I met his family. What he told me, in his culture, a bachelor's degree is considered a high school diploma to them. He said that's not even a benchmark. He said at masters, they say, okay. You get PhDs and hires, become doctors and lawyers. That's the benchmark. So most of these Nigerians, I'm just surprised. I can name up 4 to 5 companies that are Nigerian owned. That there's Nigerian owned banks in New York. There's Nigerian owned trucking companies. Listen, there's another group of people we forget. The Somalis, the Ethiopians, they're creeping up on us as well. In Columbus, Ohio, which I was there for quite some time. They have a lot of the gangs sold up there. Listen, a lot of the gangs sold up there, and they're buying houses in the suburbs, which all of my brothers and sisters are still congregated in the hood. She said, my mom did this with me, so she was the blueprint, most definitely.
Yeah.
Dusty Bandit, I wasn't talking to you. A lot of East Indians.
Cynthia G.
Yeah. A lot of East Indians been marrying their cousins for centuries, which has made them pass down generational rights and resources. That is a fact. I don't know if it's the Iraqis. I don't know if it's Iraqis or Afghanistan. They do the same thing as well.
What about the Saudi Arabia? So they do that as well?
They do that as well. They intermarry too, so the money won't be spread it out. You know what I mean? Right. They spread it out. But there's a bigger thing that we need to talk about. He says Somalis here are excelling as breeding as well. You heard I said Somalians and Ethiopians and Eritreans, I've been around them. they're very career focused, very education focused, and they do not date out their race. You have to be walking on water to get you a Somali girl. You have to be walking on water, on water.
Yep.
They
They don't play.
do
They
not
are
play.
serious.
Not just a BA with a high GPA that can advance you to an Ivy League school. You know what they was complaining about in Caltech and UCLA? There was too many Asians. In in Harvard, there's Nigerians graduating from Harvard every year there in record numbers. Sherry Bryant said this. She's speaking the facts. I work a lot of Nigerians. A lot of Nigerians are engineers. Facts. I work with them.
Yeah.
You won't know them until they tell you, unless you hear their name.
Yeah. And also some of these Nigerians, like I said, it's just here. I'm seeing it here too. Like I said, when I try to find like a lot of black doctors, especially here in LA, what I find is that mostly they're Nigerians here.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they take the medical field as well.
I also wants to state something too. Over there in their country, in a lot of these people's country, education is the only way to get out of poverty. My mother told me that. That's why I went to school. That's why I'm continuing my education. And I say that I want to, because if you get a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, that enable you to make money. That enable you to make more money, would enable you to buy a house, would enable you to create generational wealth. Leaving something behind is generational wealth. When you are not able to buy houses or buy property or create a business or something like that. And let's say this. Not everybody's going to do this. School is not for everybody, but there is a template that works. STEM. You know what I mean? My brother from Britain, our Britain experts say a lot of Somali excel in Britain by taxi driving, money transferring, driving instruction, Somali restaurant entertainment, and comedy. That is a fact. Let's not forget the Somalis run Minnesota. The Somalis are running wild in Minnesota and St. Paul and the Eritreans and all that. Shout outs to my Somali brothers. Awudiya. No. Yeah, the government. Don't worry, she's gonna be okay. She's gonna be okay.
He ready. He said he ready, yo. I'm ready. He said I'm ready for the smoke. I was gonna say this also, especially if you had kids. I don't have kids yet, or if you have a spouse or anything. Please. A lot of people. I don't know why some of our black people, they don't do this. If you're working in a long term, if you're working a job long term, you work in a factory or grocery store, whatever. Make sure you get life insurance.
Yeah.
A lot of I know some of our some people in our black community, they don't think about just getting life insurance, not just because they're not thinking about well, it's like they think about it, but they don't think about it. If you do life insurance, especially if you're working somewhere in a company, because usually you pay like $1.25 to $3 to $4 and be at the max of $50,000 to $100,000 or even more, maybe $150,000. That right there, if you pass away, you push that to your kids and everything. You push generational wealth right there.
100%. Now, funny enough, and Ari the garbage man, I didn't know you knew Sugar Bum, so go right ahead then. Handle your business. So there was a conversation I was having with one of my cousins, and he said something really profound to me. I wanted to piggyback off the life insurance. Life insurance you can pull from while living, which is whole life. Or I think whole life in UIL or UL, universal life, which accrue interest over time. But he told me, you know why most people go broke, Jordan? Most people go broke and end up homeless because a lot of us get terminal illnesses and we still living and decimates our pockets. None of us invest in short-term disability and long-term disability insurance at the job.
Facts. That's another thing that's very important as well. That's very, very important because I remember a couple years ago in 2020 when I had short-term, long-term. When I fractured my leg, going into work, thank God. Like I said, once I had that, I knew I was okay because I had the sick pay. I had like over a week of sick pay that I could use, and also, I was out for 6 weeks. I had short-term disability, and that right there helped me out as well too. Once I healed up and went back to work. And like I said, benefits are, and these benefits, medical benefits, all these benefits are important because it's gonna keep you there. It's gonna keep you, not living in the street.
Basically, and we can, and we might do a show like this one time to talk about the different things to invest in which you don't have to be rich to get in these things. Short-term disability, long-term life insurance, and an annuity. You invest in these 4 things on top of your 401k, buying property and stuff like this. You can live a very comfortable life, go to 2 to 3 cruises a year, and not have to worry. If you get sick or have to end up in the hospital, your bills will still be paid. But we don't think like that.
And I think I was going to ask something, Hakeem. And think about this, like I said, we with the in social media side, we see a lot of people that's traveling thing, and we put traveling as more of a more of a luxury and an asset to some of these relationships. But the thing is, it's like you don't, like I said, you really don't really travel until you get up to your 50s and 60s. Once you make your investments, once you got your 401k. Once you start to retire and everything, because vacations is cool. Like I say, if you go on vacation 2 or 3 times a year, that's totally fine. But people is really trying to push. I need to go on vacation once a month. Go to Miami or go to LA or go out of the country. Go to Greece or go to Bali, go to Dubai. And the thing is I feel like a lot of people are taking these expensive trips, but not really saving it, saving it for the long term. So once you can retire and you have the money. And the thing is, it's like if you save your money very, very well, very, very well, and you work in a company for like 30 years, 40 years, a lot of people don't know, if you save your money properly, you can retire as a millionaire. And a lot of people don't know that. If you save your money, investments, 401k, all that type of stuff, if you save properly for 30, 40 years, you could become a millionaire. And when you can do that, you can do all the traveling you want. Yep. And that's why it's called the golden years, when you get up to your 60s and up. Go ahead, Hakeem.
No, you're 100% right. And you that. Now I wanted to hone in on this, what Vincent said. You can leverage life insurance for infinite mangan. Is not complicated, but it's very but at the very least, you get a term policy that covers 10x your salary. You sound like a life insurance agent. And listen, that's what the same information in. I have a term life insurance right now that I've been paying. And here's the sad thing about it is, a lot of people think it's inexpensive. I got it when I was like 25. And I've been paying $25 ever so often. I think it only gets to 40. Very simple. I drop tomorrow, a lot of people will be rich. A lot of people will eat. Now, I am in my golden years now. Stop lying. Stop lying, yeah. No, I think yeah. So but it's serious. But we talk about this. But there was another thing I wanted to hone in on. Why Indians have a lot of money, which I think that I think a lot of us can relate on this. Indians will live in a house with 4 to 5 people in extended family. The Hispanics do it. The Haitians do it. But our beloved brothers here, by 18, a lot of our brothers get kicked out the house. So they already struggling with a deficit. A lot of y'all get apartments at 18 and had to be out on your own. A lot of us ain't doing that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that is another issue in that we kicking our kids out the house too early because we said we gotta. And this, I used to hear this a lot. Oh, I gotta make sure I gotta have my own life. When you have kids, your life is over. Until your kids get older and gone, you make sure this. This is why I'm grinding. This is why it's going to be a cold summer. So when I get to where I get to, and you know what I'm saying, the kids will be straight.
Yeah, and that's to tell you the reason how, you know, the family structures is broken in our community. Because if you believe in family, you, like I say, even if your son or daughter turns 18, still don't know what to do. And a lot of kids that turn 18, they sometimes they don't know what to do.
Thank you.
They really don't know what to do.
Listen, I'm not kicking out my son or my daughter. I'm not doing none of that. Because you want to know why? I've seen too many of my friends growing up in Attapata, going to Jackson. I see my friends having to sleep out on the streets. I watch my homeboy. Listen, my best friend, my best friend, who I still love to this day. We don't talk. He had got kicked out of his house our last year of high school. He got kicked out of his house. And I would like, some of this thing is what profound to me when I sit back and I think about this. He was working. We both worked at the same job. Now, mind you, I still stay with my parents. I was living with my parents. But he had to go get a rooming house. He had to go work. Subsequently, within maybe 6 months of that, he quit school. He quit school. And then I said to myself, still to this day, he hasn't got his high school diploma. Still to this day, he had got on drugs, had a couple kids, had got on child support. It was a domino effect. So come to this. I believe, I'm so believing into the point where I want to nurture my kids and be there for them. I want them to exceed. And listen here, my job is not going to even stop when my kids get older and they have their own family. And I become a grandfather. I'm doing the same thing again. I might go back to work to make sure I can pay for my grandkids' education, regardless if their parents is there. I say, boy, this is just a little extra for young boy in them. Okay, they can, you know what I'm saying? We need to start doing that. But a lot of us don't want to stack up in the house, live with 6 to 7 people to make sure we're not spending the money out. Oh, I need my space. The walls are too thin. I don't want your mama to hear me getting my guts beaten out.
And if that's the case, then if y'all can get together, buy a 5-6 bedroom house, and then if you need to build like a pool house in the back, do that.
You know, Michael B. Jordan still live with his parents.
Yep.
Michael B. Jordan, mother and father, still lives with him. Jamie Foxx, father lives with him. Mm-hmm. We see very few of these things. Go ahead.
Another thing, shout out to the great Michael Jackson. He was living in his parents' house till he was 30 years old.
30 years old.
30. Go ahead.
So, but here's the thing. I was with you up until that last example. Which example was that? Oh, yeah. She said the walls are too thin. I don't want your mama to hear my guts getting beat out. But it's true. Listen. You don't create. Listen, generational wealth. There's the blueprint is right there, but we don't want to follow it. We feel like we got to get it on our own. We have to listen. Family has to be everything. We have to stack. Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable. But imagine being able to live your life and you have everybody who's contributing to the fold. Sooner or later, people start moving out once you get the business and stuff together and be like, hey, we're going to buy you a house down the street. Oh, we saving. We all come together as a family. This is what it's all about. But if we're not doing this together, then I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, and it's like for me, I say my family is very, very strong for both sides, and I definitely know, you know, even though me and my wife we doing well in Los Angeles, but we know if there's supper ball, we need help with something with cash, or we need help somebody to go fly out. Somebody in our family either they'll send us something we need help on, or something we need to invest on, or I know we definitely gonna have when we have kids. I know my mom will be here, flying out here a minute. She's just waiting. She's just waiting to say, we about to have a kid. After that, my mom will be out here for sure. I know that for a fact. Go ahead.
Look what my brother here said here. One of Spain's best soccer players, Xavier Hernandez, had his parents living with him in his playing days.
Yeah.
Success is easy. We just need to go back to the basics of stuff. We need to see what our brothers and sisters doing next door. Hey, what, you know what I mean? Listen, I live next door to a bunch of Cubans, and it's like 7 of them in there. 7. And they got a trailer in the back, but there's Dodge Rams TRXs in front. Mm-hmm. There's a Dodge Charger SRT. There's some whips in front of that house though, and they strap. And listen here, every time they throw a party, they always bring 5 plates over here for me and my family. They always bring food, but here's the thing though, they're contributing to the machine. They're contributing to the machine.
Exactly.
Listen, you said all the incomes that come in the home 100%, and 100%. Oh yeah. And listen, we're very big on soccer too. Yeah, they make big money. Like another thing is too, there's a thing that I think a lot of us don't understand, which we do. Like I'm telling you this, due to the fact that I don't see many Americans do this, but me personally, I've been groomed a certain kind of way where when I get married, and I find in my wife parents needed to come stay with us, I would not object to that. Listen, indefinitely. You listening?
Mm-hmm.
The mother, the father, I would not disagree with that. Because you also got to think of the benefits of having the mother and father who is retired live in the house with you. They're able to be babysitters for the kids. The kids are able to learn and soak up knowledge from them. You know who did that? Let's bring up the TV show, Blackish.
Yep. Oh, family members too. Carl Winslow's mom too at the time, yo.
Carl Winslow's mom was living in the house with them. So they was getting a certain type of knowledge. Facts. You see, facts. My mama coming with me no matter. It should not have to matter. It should not have to. But listen, most women say, I don't want my guts to be heard and getting blown out. You're married.
That's why you go to. That's why sometimes we'll go to a hotel or something right there.
Go to a hotel. Go to a motel or something.
Hotel, motel, whatever.
And listen, sometimes the parents be like, y'all show you. We need some more grandkids in there. Y'all go in that back.
So some of the parents be like that too. I want some more grandbabies. Go to work. Do what y'all need to do.
Go back there and get some work now. So, you know what I mean? We have to look at that. But American society teaches us that we need our space. We're not supposed to live with each other. We need to get it how you live.
And I would say with culture and inflation, they say, hey, if you live by yourself, we're going to try to kick your ass out. So you're going to need your husband, you're going to need a spouse or marry somebody you need to marry or launch a relationship to live in here because inflation is off the chain.
Inflation is off the chain. And Sherry Bryant, can I be real with something? You said something. Why is the mother and father living away from the family? In third world countries, it's not like that. A lot of people don't know this. Chinese, Taiwanese, and all these other and Koreans, when the family get older, they stay with the kids until they're dead. This is just common practice. Why is your mama living by herself in that big ass house? Why she need to go live at She just lost her husband. Why she not in here with us living life? She stay with us until she not here no more. That's it.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That's how it should be. That's how it should work.
I delay making my parents grandparents because I can't afford to have children at this moment. That's no problem. That's the realest thing you said.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
That's totally fine.
You just gotta build yourself. Build yourself, for yourself financially. Right. You be good.
And listen, Aya, me and Jordan are on the same level. We delayed trying to have kids so we can build the income to be able, and I'm gonna be very honest with you. I wasn't that mature enough to be a father at one point. I'm gonna just be very, very honest. I wanted my children to have their own family home. Most definitely, they do that when they still live with you. You might be the catalyst to help buy homes for them. Right. So you know what I mean. So a lot of us, what he said was very real, and I think that if a lot of us take this approach, the 40-year-old me is more suited and more mature to deal with a woman now and to deal with her expectations and what comes to being a father, a husband, and a provider. And we need, and he said something too. This is something we need to tell young boys too. You have to make something of yourself because you got to understand the position you take when you take on a woman. Men of our past understand that. They went to the army, they came out, they went and got a trade, they got a field. You know what I'm trying to say? And this is what the situation is. You know what I'm saying? So Aya, you said something very, very profound. And it's the thing, like we you know what I mean? And I think that was an unselfish decision you made. You thought about everybody when you said that. It's just the same thing with me and my brother here. We're not going to have kids if we know we can't take care. And for me personally, I just wasn't mature enough at that point in time. Knowing and understanding that, which we have a lot of men in our culture who are not mature enough to have kids. And you know what I mean? And we need to promote that a little bit more.
That's true, Hakeem. And the thing is, it's like, you don't have to have kids in your 20s or in your 30s. If you feel like you're not maturely ready to have kids till you're in your mid 30s or 40s, you can wait.
Listen, Grant Cardone had his first child at 50. The real estate mogul. He had his first child at 50. He was already a millionaire. At 50, he was already a millionaire. Guess what his daughter does? I think Grant Cardone is 60 now. His daughter now opens up his speaking engagements for her, and she's 12.
Wow.
So when you are older, it's either two things. When you are older or you're mature, and if you are mature for your age, you could provide your kid a healthy life. But if not, stay away from that until you're ready to do that and find a partner that you're going to make. But another thing we not to do, shout outs to Pink Book Lessons. I want you to go over there. She has a video about a couple who have been married damn near like 100 years. One of them was 90, the other one was 80.
Yep.
They have been together so long, they got 18 grandkids and great grandkids. One of their sons is the first black surgeon in Georgia, and they was talking about why their family been so big and stuff like that. And the surgeon, he had 5 daughters of his own who are all married. He had been married 50 years, so there was a template about what they was promoting in providing for their kids. What they say. It says, interesting to know about Grant Cardone. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, he had his first child at 50. At 50, so you're never too old. Matter of fact, I think he was a lot mature, and he provided his kids a life that far exceed anything. They ride on private jets.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? But as my mom aged, at this point, she can live with me or I can live with her. the rent the other property out. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Y'all go on cruises, you live your life, and there's nothing to it. We need to stop trying to separate each other from it. So shit, we passed that hour mark. We about to wrap up. I don't know if y'all got any questions, any statements before we go. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna hit it with the final thoughts. You know, my final thoughts are, especially for the in our the parents, especially in our community. We have so much information with the internet. That it's like I said, we have so much information in the internet that we should start putting these information out to our kids of what they want to do in their life, especially with our education, make sure our kids are fully educated of what they want to do. And also, also help, like I said, also when they turn 18, also, give them the options if they want to go to college, make sure you put, talk about military and trades as well, because, and don't kick them out.
No,
don't kick them out. If you believe in the family process and in the unity, your kids gonna stay till you find out what they're gonna do. That's my final thoughts. Go ahead, Hakeem.
I want to piggyback and say that regardless of how bad they are, you gotta keep your foot on their neck, not to the point where it's obsessive, but in a watchful eye. So, my final point is, as family, let's start to redesign the image of what we did, and we can start about one person at a time and start to make this an infectious thing. And this is why, thanks to Natasha Vincent, we got the thing in the description, Black Love and Marriage. I'm working on another book, The Art of Loving the Black Woman, which I'm taking stories from different people, and we about to do it. That's my final take on it.
Yes. So we're gonna get out the shout outs before we go. Shout out to Sherry Bryant, shout out to Natasha, shout out to Sugar Bomb, shout out to who else? Urban Noise, Fresh Sounds was in the building. Shout out to Coon Garbage Collector. Shout out to you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for checking us out. Please come again. We really appreciate you. Anybody in Facebook that Sherry Bryant was watching us, or Instagram, Hakeem?
No, no, I didn't link in my dumb ass.
It's okay. That's okay. It's good. But hey, guys, we want to thank you for watching Chaos Culture Radio. We remind you guys, we're live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Like I said, 6 p.m. We give you, the live that you need, and we just give you all the information that we can give you guys, because it's very, really important. And also, not just our lives, we make sure we put out our weekly videos for you guys to see as well what's going on in the world and everything. No problem, Garbage Collector. We appreciate you so much for coming by, man. Please come again.
Please come again.
Yes. Also, to the if you go to our YouTube page and our community tab, make sure, like I said, Hakeem told you about his book, Black Love. And also we have merch of, the Chaos Culture Radio T-shirt. We have different varieties, different colors. We appreciate it on that. And once again, thank you guys for watching us on YouTube, Facebook, and also Twitch. We really appreciate you. And like I said, Ronnie, he's on vacation right now. He's chilling, resting, and he'll be back here next week. But thanks again, guys, for watching us. We'll be back here on Friday with another topic for you guys, if you're gonna get it popping. But as you go, as to Chaos Culture Radio,
we out.